voice that you'd like to say, just to see if I could see someone in the chat. Venus in Gemini. Now here's Uranus in Gemini at 0 degrees. So this is brand spanking new, as we know. This is going to move really, really slow for the next 7 to 7.5 years till 2033. So, as I mentioned before, if you have a Gemini placement, any Gemini placement in your natal chart, even an outer planet that's early Gemini, like 0, 1, 2, 3 degrees, or Gemini rising, you're going to get a conjunction. Now, this Uranus is going to disrupt different areas of the natal chart for different people. So, for example, let's say you're a Gemini at 0 degrees. Let's say your very first degree, maybe you're born on May 22nd and you're an early Gemini. Uranus is going to conjunct your birthday in 2 weeks. Uranus will conjunct your birthday exactly, your sun. Now, if your chart, let's say you have Sagittarius rising, and Uranus, you have Gemini in the 7th, which would be this area over here. If you have Gemini on the 7th, Uranus would be transiting most likely in your 6th house of daily routine, and it would awaken or disrupt your daily routine, your attitude towards work and service. It's pets, animals, but it's the Virgo house, and also health. So it's going to disrupt something specific there. But you need to know the degree and the house. So that's just an example. If someone's not a sun in Gemini, but you have Gemini rising, let's say you're an Aquarius or a Taurus, but you have Gemini rising, and your Gemini rising is very early. Let's say it's a 1 or 2 degree. Uranus is going to be here, sitting here in your 12th house. And that's the repressed hidden emotions and feelings that are going on with you. And that's going to, Uranus Gemini is going to possibly bring that out and have you be able to communicate it, Gemini. Pisces does not always communicate well, nor does the 12th house communicate well or clearly, because it's Neptune. But with Gemini there, Uranus would be able to express that. And a transiting Uranus in the 12th house person, which is most Gemini rising people, because most Gemini rising people are not going to be 0 or 1 degree. They were going to be later. They might be 10, 15, 20 degrees of Gemini rising. That Uranus transiting is going to be in your 12th house. That's time to become psychic, or you're already psychic and you're communicating it and expressing it in a way that is clear and that is Geminian sort of thing. But I really like I love the fact that all these planets here are all direct. Uranus in Gemini direct. Saturn in Aries direct. Neptune in Aries direct. Not sure what's going on here. Okay. So, and Neptune, Aries direct. Jupiter, Cancer direct. So this is really, 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 really important. And what's interesting is Saturn at 9 of Aries today, on May 8th, 2026, Saturn's at 9 of Aries. It will go retrograde on July 26th, which is 2.5 months away. 2 months, 3 weeks. So Aries people, Aries placements, probably more than anyone else, other than Gemini placements with Uranus. Aries placements, excuse me. Let's go. Aries placements, this is your year. Well, not just this year, next year as well. But this year, any Aries placement, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, if you're a natal Saturn in Aries, coming up on your Saturn return born in 1968 or 1938, or those things. Saturn in Aries is going to conjunct any Aries placement or rising, and it is going to be a profound time to straighten up. It's going to be, the only way I can think about it is like, you know, if you're having, if you're having neck, shoulder, or back problems, and you go to an osteo doctor, an orthopedist, or a chiropractor, any of those people, that man or woman is going to tell you, they're going to tell you to instantly to correct your posture, right? They're all going to say that. And if they don't say that, they're probably not a great doctor. But that's like one of the most things. Instead of doing this, which I do sometimes, I catch myself, is to bring it back. Bring back your heart, and it opens. And you're opening your heart energy as well. But you bring it back. So that's the only way, that's the physical kind of manifestation I can think about for Saturn and Aries that's going to be conjuncting Aries placements this year, next year, and in 2028 is fix your posture. That's the easiest way I can say it. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's kind of metaphoric. Fix your posture. As we know, Aries placements can be raw. They can be wild. They can be untamed. That's not good or bad, but they have that sort of, Aries placements often have that primal or raw energy. And Aries placements very much need a good direction and path for that fire energy. Oh, Carolyn says, greetings. Yay, greetings. Woohoo! Someone finally popped in. All right. So for Aries people, this year, next year, in 2028, is going to be, Aries placements is going to be fix your posture. This is the time to fix things for yourself. It's not time for Aries. It's not time for Aries to be impatient with life, be annoyed with life because it's not giving you what you want, or people are not giving you what you want in a snap when you want it, because Aries placements want things yesterday. It's about discipline and fixing your posture. That posture being emotional posture, psychological posture, spiritual posture, and also your relationship with yourself. Aries placements, and again, this could be any placement, including rising, that Saturn is going to conjunct here, Saturn in Aries, it's going to clean house. It's going to clean up. It's going to fix you. It's going to prop you up so that your posture is good. It's also going to give, Saturn's also going to give you confidence. It's not going to be easy, though. You're going to have to make changes. Aries is going to have to make changes that are not quick. And Aries is going to have to hang in there. Changes that are lasting these next 2 or 3 years. So Aries has got to think of the long game, because who would think of that? Capricorn. Who teaches Aries about the long game? Capricorn. Aries, Capricorn, square. There's always a reason in the zodiac why you have tension with another energy. Again, it's not good or bad. It's lessons to teach and lessons to be taught. So every Aries placement that Saturn is going to conjunct, it is, now right now it's at 9, so any of you that have Aries placements that are very early, like 1, 2, 3, 4, it's already passed, and it will not go back until it goes retrograde. So you're already feeling it. But for the Aries placements or Aries sun signs that are born in the 2nd or 3rd decan, so Aries people that are born from like April 3rd on, right up until April 20th, 19th, all those Aries people in the world, Saturn is either Saturn is going to, because of the later degrees, is going to conjunct that sun, and it could affect your health, especially the head. With Aries people, they have to watch out for allergies, headaches, teeth problems, maybe even bone, TMJ type of thing. Disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional, so please take that with a grain of salt. Not medical advice, but Aries is the head. So Saturn in Aries is a little bit of a rough, it's like rubbing a sandpaper on an open wound a little bit. Saturn in Aries is impulsive, but Saturn's like, no, we can't be impulsive. Saturn can't ever be impulsive because Saturn wouldn't be Saturn, right? Saturn would be more like Mars. So if the gods were playing out like that, Saturn and Mars would be having a conversation about when can we be impulsive and just go for it, and when do we have to hang back, and we have to just hang back and bide our time and work on things systematically, day by day, month by month. Well, that's what it's going to be for Aries placements with Saturn and Aries. And I've been wanting to talk about this Saturn more, and I'm going to go into more detail in the coming months with more examples, especially celebrity examples as well, because I've been wanting to do more of a kind of Saturn masterclass kind of thing. But my live streams haven't had a lot of time for the live streams. But so please, if you see this on the replay, give me comments about what you'd like to see in future live streams. So those Saturn and Aries here, and Neptune placements, conjuncting the early Aries energy, is causing a whole ripple effect. Now that Saturn in Aries, obviously, it's not only affecting Aries placements, it's also Libra. So the opposite is true. If you have a 9-degree Libra planet, if you're born, if you're a Libra 2, if you're a second decan Libra person, let's say you're born October 3rd, 4th, 5th, 2nd maybe, your Saturn, this Saturn is exactly opposition your sun. So then those people are going to feel, in the fall, the Librans are going to feel the opposition. So the Aries are feeling the conjunction, which is fix your posture because it's conjuncting, it's right on your sun and saying, hey, wake up, prop yourself up, and let's do this. And let's do this right. Make the changes and do it right. For Saturn and Libra, it's more of a push-pull. It's going to be, it's not a conjunction, but the opposition is going to be awareness with others. And that's Libra's mission all the time anyways. Librans are always balancing myself, others, myself, others, myself, the world. Libra energy is always doing that. So for Libra planets, this Saturn opposition is just going to be a push-pull, which is not as intense as it is for Aries because it's the Aries sign. Saturn is also going to square. Remember I said the square is energy for lessons. It's not good or bad necessarily, although it is tense. Square. So Saturn in Aries will square all Cancer planets. So anybody that's a moon child coming up in a couple months, especially if you're born July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, that Saturn squaring that sun in Cancer, the moon child. That could affect someone's health. The moon rules the digestive system, so Cancer people would be good to watch the stomach and the digestion and be very gentle with that, especially in the summer. So Saturn Aries will square, and that's also Moon in Cancer, Cancer rising, Venus, Mars, Mercury in Cancer will all get squares from that Aries. Again, it might not be today, depends on your degree, but it's 26, 27 into 28. So now we're almost halfway done with 26. So a lot of the Saturn energy, especially if your cardinal sign is like 11 degrees or between like 1 and 11 degrees of Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Cap, this is already happening. People are already feeling this. So the earlier Aries planets are already feeling it, especially with Neptune as well. And then the middle of the road cardinal signs that are like 12, 13, 14, 15 degrees will start to feel that from Saturn. So Saturn in Aries will also square Capricorn planets. So Capricorns next winter will also feel that, mostly the Capricorns born the first week of Capricorn, first week of January, like January 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, middle of the road Capricorns with degrees, that Saturn is going to be moving to square Capricorn as well. And the square is growth. It's tension, but it's growth. So for Capricorn and Cancer placements, Saturn and Aries is causing a square. For Libra placements, or Sun and Libra especially, it's causing an opposition. And for us Aries, all of my Aries people out there, it is conjunctive, which is the most personal, upfront, and intense. Even though Saturn is not a personal planet, it's causing Aries to, I don't know. Do you like that? Do you agree or disagree with that phrase, fix your posture for Aries? And you know, I'm also saying posture because Saturn rules the bones, skeletal system, that's kind of Capricorn. So that's why I'm also kind of using that as a double meaning there. So I know we're having some glitches here. YouTube's giving me an error message. Good meme for Aries. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I thought so too. Because, you know, and it's also, here's another reason for it. For Aries placements in the next coming years, but any of the cardinal signs that are going to be affected by Saturn and Aries prominently, all signs are affected on some level in your chart, but the cardinal signs the most, is to, no matter how sad or discouraged you get and you want to put your head down and go, I just want to give up. That Saturn and Aries is going to hit that planet and say, this is going to be painful on some level. It's going to be painful, but it's good. Just, you got to move through it. You can't give up. You got to keep moving. So, the discouragement, especially with Aries or Libra, with the conjunction of the opposition, or the growth needed, the tension underneath with Capricorn or Cancer placements, is just to get through it. It's only going to be 2 or 3 years anyways. That seems like forever, but as we know, it's not. Think about my live stream I did a year ago, or think about 2 years ago when you were watching my channel or something. Like, it seems like yesterday, but also see how fast that went. So the growth and the pain, it doesn't stay forever. So I have high hopes. And Saturn and Aries people that have natal Saturn and Aries, now I'm talking 1938 people, if you're still alive, okay, approaching 90, 1968 people that are going to be approaching 60, and 1998 people, if you're not there yet, that are going to be approaching 30, and they'll be starting their Saturn return right now in 96. In 2026, because I know for a while there I was talking about 1994 people, 95, 96, and 97 for Saturn returns, but the 98 people, the 8 people, 38, 68, and 98, are all coming up on their big 0 birthday, where they're going to have their first, second, or third Saturn return. I actually know next year and a half he's on the road to completing his second Saturn, sort of thing. But Neptune in Aries, I'm glad Neptune is direct. Neptune goes retrograde in July. And then Uranus will go retro in September. So we have almost half a year with Uranus Gemini moving into the early degrees of Gemini and then going retrograde. In September. Now Jupiter's in Cancer. Jupiter's at 20 degrees of Cancer, and so some people will be having a Jupiter return. So if you have Jupiter in Cancer, at some point you already had it, or it's coming up on a Jupiter-Jupiter conjunction. But the Jupiter at 20 degrees of Cancer, it's also affecting all the cardinal signs. Now that's conjuncting the Cancer moonchild suns. So that's a little different conjunction than this Saturn conjunction that I'm talking about with the Aries people. The Jupiter conjunction to the sun, Cancer person almost gives them a Sagittarius flavor and may give them a big ego or big confidence. So Cancer people will have to be careful with that, not to go overboard with this Jupiter in Cancer placement. All right, see there's one person, a couple of people got kicked out maybe, or I'm not sure. All right, I guess I'll just keep going. I'm okay on my end here. So Pluto goes direct in October. So now we have a good part of the year now where Pluto is going to halt at 5 degrees of Aquarius. And I know I've been talking about this for probably 2 years. So the early Aquarius planets, Pluto's basically sitting right there again, again causing you to transform. So again, not good or bad, depends on where you are in your journey. It depends where you are in terms of growth, growth and potential. But Pluto is going to shake things up as well, primarily for Aquarius people, but also for Leo. Early Leo placements, that Pluto is again opposing the early Leo suns. Oh, which is interesting. That makes me think of a couple people. Okay, that gives me a little insight. And then the Pluto at 5 of Aquarius is squaring early Taurus and squaring early Scorpio placements as well. So that's doing a number. Now this moon in Aquarius, obviously this moves in 2 days, this conjunction. This is intense right now. Should give us good knowledge and can actually increase psychic ability and intuition if you're open to it. But it's not necessarily all negative. You know, Pluto aspects are tough, but many astrologers like to just coin them as all negative. They're not all negative, but they're not easy. It doesn't mean it's all negative. We need challenge in our lives. All right, so I'm going to take that out for now. I might go back to this transit chart. I'd like to get some more people in here to show. Hopefully people will see this on the live stream, and then they can absorb some of that energy here. All right, I have a lot of charts here. What do we want to show? All right, but this is just interesting. So let's take Saturn. Where's Saturn? So Saturn at 23 of Scorp. So someone born that's alive today at 100, they went through their second Saturn. They've had 3 Saturn returns. It's at Scorpio. So they had their Scorpio return, and then it went to Sag, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and now it's into Aries. So imagine that. Imagine someone going through that. So that's someone. We're on the 6s now. This is where I'm going to be on the 6 years. So that's someone that's turned 100 today. In 6 years. So that's someone that's turned 100 today. Let's look at, excuse me. All right, now we're going to go down in age. I didn't go to 110, even though I'm sure there are people that are alive at 110 in the world. But okay, now we have a 90-year-old. We have someone from 1936 turning 90 today, or this season. You know, you can even use this season, but I'm just using today. Gives you a general overview of 1936 people. This is someone that's turning 90. Now this person, this Taurus person, has 20-degree Pisces, which they just, right? We just had Saturn in Pisces. So they had their third Saturn return. When they were born, Saturn was in Pisces and it was direct. They had Jupiter retrograde, Neptune was retrograde in Virgo, Pluto in Cancer, and then of course, look at that. There's Uranus in Taurus. So we just went through Uranus and Taurus, right? In the last 7-8 years. So the 1936 people, our 1936 peeps, if you're turning 90, one love, blessed be to you. And they had just had a Uranus return. So all planets have returns. Some are more significant than others, but the Uranus at 6, that was a while ago. That was several years ago when Uranus was in Taurus. Now, how that would manifest, or how it did manifest when someone alive now was in their 80s, whether it had to do with disruption of their health or finances. With Taurus, it was probably something physical. Could have been health, could have been illness, but it depends on where it was transiting in their house at the. So we looked at someone that's turned 90 today. Now someone's birthday today, turning 80. Someone from 1946, turning 80. Now, this person has Saturn in Cancer, and this is someone, if they continue to be alive in 2 years, 3 years, that will experience a Saturn square from Aries. And that also goes for people that are much younger that have Saturn in Cancer from not too long ago. So obviously someone from earlier than that most likely isn't alive. But for people that are alive, that are 80 or are entering their 80s now, they have or will have a square from Saturn, and the Jupiter is also, and Cancer is also conjuncting that Saturn as well. But this is the interesting thing. Remember, I mentioned from 41 to 48, Uranus was in Gemini. That was the last time Uranus was in Gemini. We're talking about usually between a 77 to 84 year gap between Uranus signs. So Uranus in Gemini right now, most of us alive will never see that again. A baby born today, if they live to 90, they will. They'll see it. But most people alive this moment are not going to see, once Uranus goes into Cancer in 2033, no one will see a Uranus in Gemini ever again, only from heaven or from some other place, whatever you believe in. But so this is why this is so prominent. Next couple of years are going to be fireworks, and hopefully it's not going to be in all the bad ways. But again, that Uranus in Gemini, we have to look at event charts, country charts, or personal charts of politicians or leaders where that Uranus in Gemini is going to be hitting some kind of Gemini placement, where it's hitting it, how it's hitting it, and then when. And then you can kind of figure out the what sort of thing. But this person, so happy birthday to a person turning 80 today, has Uranus at 15 of Gemini direct. So Uranus is starting to come up. They're starting to come up on a Uranus return. So if they live another 2 or 3 years, make it to 82, 83, they will have a Uranus return. And again, most 82 and 83-year-old people are retired and have maybe a very simple life. However, it will affect them in some way, depending on where Gemini is in the chart. And I mentioned Saturn. And let's see, so Pluto, 1946 person, had a direct 9-degree Leo Pluto, which is, they're experiencing a Pluto, not a return, but an opposition, because Pluto's now in Aquarius. So actually, for someone born in 46, there's a lot going on. Jupiter on their Saturn. Their natal Jupiter is square. So they're having a natal Jupiter square from Jupiter in Cancer, which can affect their sense of abundance or fortune. With a square, there would probably tend to be difficulties. But that's interesting. 70-year-old. All right. So someone, if anybody knows anybody. So now someone born May 8th of 1956. Someone turning 70 today. Most people, a lot of people make it to 70. And this is interesting because I mentioned the Saturn return people in the 8 years. So in this, now as we're getting younger, this person has Uranus, a 70-year-old has Uranus in Cancer, almost Leo, which means, this is direct, the Uranus in Gemini, they just finished a Uranus. I'm sorry, no, they did not just finish it. They will have, in years to come, if they live another 10 years, they'll have a Uranus, they'll have their Uranus return when it goes into Cancer. So that's not really affecting them too much. Jupiter in Leo for longevity as well. So everybody's going to get that right around 70. Now today we're looking at someone turning 60, 1966, May 8th. And so this is getting a little more prominent with the aspects because this is someone that has young senior, has obviously more of their life than the other ages and more time to experience transiting aspects. So for someone turning 60 today, now Saturn, this person has 28 degrees Aries, a very, very late, almost Taurus. So this person turning 60 has, wait a minute, I'm sorry, that's Mercury. Hello. Saturn in Pisces, excuse me. They just had finished their Saturn return at 26 of Pisces. Now Saturn's at 9 of Aries. So that was a little while ago. You know, a year or two ago, they finished up. So a 60-year-old person born today has finished and completed their Saturn return. They finished another masterclass in Saturn, and they are a new person, or they should be at least. Now, if a 60-year-old has not grown up or matured and hasn't learned their lessons that they were supposed to learn at 58 or in the mid-40s, late 30s, and late 20s, those Saturn hits, if the person hasn't learned it, well, they may have to adjust. But the Saturn Pisces is a water replacement that's tough. And now that Saturn's in Aries, it can be an option for this person. Well, this particular person is Mercury in Aries. But if a 60-year-old person had an Aries planet, it's an opportunity to move forward now that your Saturn return is done, and to use the other energies, especially fire energies that are transiting or in your chart, to move forward and create growth. A 60-year-old has Neptune in Scorpio, Pluto in Virgo, which is in conjunct our current Pluto, but not by degree yet, just by sign. Uranus also in conjunct Pluto. Now this is interesting. Uranus at 0 or 1 degree of Gemini right now. And Uranus is going to move very slow over the next 7 to 8 years. This person, a 6-year-old, will experience a Uranus square, not a return, but they will experience the square coming up, I'm going to say 4 years, maybe 3.5 years or so. So when that person's getting closer to retirement or semi-retirement, they're going to be looking at a Uranus square, and that's going to it can do some damage, but it's definitely going to shake things up. Not in the same way that Saturn would, but I would have to look at the specific chart and house to know where it would. For this person, for a 60-year-old that actually has this birthday, this man or woman's Uranus is in the second house of finances, self-worth. It's the Taurus house. It's the mine house. What's mine? So it's going to shake something up there, probably financially. But Uranus square in both Mercury signs, which this person will have in a few years, is all about communication. because Virgo is Mercury and Gemini is Mercury. So you have to take the signs into consideration with that square as well. All right, let's see how we're doing here. All right, let's see what we have. What else do we have? All right, let's see what we have. What else do we have? I have a bunch more. Some of these are from a month ago that I was going to show too, so that's probably why I have double or triple the amount of charts that I've wanted to share and get the discussion going. You know what? Let's go for a very young chart. Let's look at someone turning 20 today. Let's look at a 2006 young man or young woman. So May 8, 2006, someone's turning 20 years old today. They're most likely in college, maybe halfway through. Where were the transits 20 years ago, and where were they for this man or woman? So this 20-year-old, if you have a 20-year-old kid or grandchild, let's look. So Saturn was in Leo 20 years ago. Geez, can you believe 2006 was 20 years ago? Like, that doesn't seem, at least to me, that doesn't seem that far. Holy cow, 2006 seems kind of recent, but that's 20 years. Think about that. Whew. So Saturn was in Leo. So this young man or woman is experiencing a Pluto-Saturn opposition, that can be kind of heavy. This man or woman who's turning 20, almost 21, which is the really big age, is having a Saturn trine, which is really nice. So that's going to enhance the life force, just like I mentioned on the last chart. A Saturn trine is usually, there can still be lessons, but the lessons will be a little gentler, they'll flow a little easier, and the lessons wrap up quicker. So a Saturn Leo person born in 2006, that's good. That's nice. I like that. Pluto was at 26 retrograde of Sag, Neptune, Aquarius. Now this person, this particular chart, this Taurus person turning 20 today, has no Gemini, but Uranus transiting would be in their 10th house of career and the public. Now, most likely a 20-year-old hasn't started their career yet. They might be working, but they're not fully fledged into their career. Either they've gone to college and they're working on it, or they maybe delayed college and they're working a job or a couple jobs or something, or maybe even taking classes and working. Whatever they're doing, Uranus in the 10th would be prominent and is going to spark that communication, and something in their public life or career path is going to change disruptly. They're going to change majors, or they're going to change jobs abruptly. And by 21 or 22, when the full adult is formed, really by 21, 22, astrologically, you're a young adult, and you may still be a very immature person, but you are formed astrologically. You are an adult, a young adult. This person has Uranus at 14 of Pisces, so that's what's coming up. They're going to have that Uranus, which is famous at 21 and 22 for all of us. We all experience it. It's a Uranus square. Now that is tough. That's not just tense and growth. That is an explosion. It's because of the age. So any of us all of us were 20, 21, 22, of course we're going to be rebellious, even if it's just with ourselves, inside ourselves. Doesn't mean we're going to throw any bottles or anything, but that rebellion, it has to happen. So a 20, 21-year-old next year, year and a half, when this 20-year-old becomes 21 and experiences the Uranus and Pisces square, Uranus and Gemini transit that I talked about at the beginning, that's an explosion of individuality. They have to change. They have to. Maybe their parents kicked them out of the house, or whatever it is. or they change colleges, change majors. There's something disruptive there. Or if they're working and they didn't go to school, now they're going to go back to school or something. But, you know, when you think about it, you think about 20, 21, and 22 years of age when we all go through this Uranus thing. Think of how we think we have it all figured out at that age. And I'm sure 20 and 21-year-olds right now, they think they have it all figured out because we're all so smart, right? When you're 20, you're just so damn smart. You got the world all figured out, but you don't. Oh my gosh, you have no idea what life is coming, what's coming at you, and what life's going to throw at you, and what yourself is going to throw at you. How you're going to change, how you're going to think differently, how things that you thought would never upset you are going to upset you. Things that you thought would upset you, you can blow off. That used to get under your skin when you were young. Now you're like, meh, whatever. You can detach from it. You can have clarity. So that is really, really important. So any of you that see this replay, if you have grandkids or kids, I usually don't get viewers this young, so I'm most likely to be a viewer would have a grandchild or a kid that's turning 20 today or this year. That Uranus and Gemini, they're going to have that Uranus square. But right now, when they're 20 and in the thick of either working, going to class, or going to college full-time or whatever, that Saturn in Leo right here at 5. And if you have a kid that's born, let's say in December of 06, they're still going to have Saturn Leo, it's just going to be a later degree. They're going to get their Saturn Aries trine a little later, but it's all there. That fire energy is there. It's there to use, the Saturn and Aries. Yeah, it's there to use. So I'm going to end the stream right now because I have to get going, but I did have extra time today with my schedule, which I loved because I really wanted to start with this. And I think I might promote this live stream because I really want to get this out to people. And I want to start doing more master classes with this. And I also can do this privately for you. I can do it as simply or as in-depth as you want. And I want to make some pricing changes with some from what I've charged from in the past. So I don't have any prices right now. So I'm going to create some new prices for 2026 and 2027. If anyone's interested. Great info on the transits. Thank you. You are very welcome. And I might do this exact stream again soon, since I didn't have a lot of streaming viewers, and I noticed a lot of people got kicked out. So I don't know what that was about. My first stream was I got kicked out. I had to restart the computer. I had to restart my router. You know, gremlins. Call it Uranus and Gemini, perhaps. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Please share and comment. And I'll let you all know when the next time is. But thank you for a couple of people popping in and out. And I hope you have a great week. And don't forget, whether your mother is in heaven or she's right near you, don't forget to tell her that you love her, no matter what. All right, that's your homework. All right, have a great week.